Wow.
Kevin
Fuck
died.
that one up.
That stays in.
No,
that stays in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your dying host, Kevin the Bastard. With me, as always, are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how you doing, buddy? I'm gonna die for a second.
I'm dying at a less severe rate, apparently.
Yeah,
So I'm doing better than you.
Yeah, with my leg and lungs, apparently I'm just gonna fucking drop any minute now.
Can I have your stuff?
If you'll erase my browser history.
Yes.
All right. David Davis is also with us. David, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. And, we were talking a couple weeks ago about conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
And I think the biggest conspiracy right now is how KFC can do a 5-piece tender meal for $7.99 and get away with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's $1 a tender and then you charge like $2 for the mashed potatoes and like $1 for each side, then you can do that. And then
I'm saying that, like, how are they able to do it?
Yeah,
because
I know,
that's a good
because
deal.
it's technically not fucking chicken.
Because, Kevin, if you go to Cane's, Raising Cane's,
Right.
you get a 4-piece meal for and it all it has is fucking fries, a drink, and coleslaw, because who gives a shit, and the toast.
It's it's Cane's.
But it's like $8.50.
What the
Probably
fuck? Okay,
higher, $9.
Mike, we're gonna try KFC again for monetary reasons. Okay, I'm just saying.
It's probably all the mutant chickens they use.
Yeah, I don't give a shit at this point as long as it was raised on some semblance of a farm. I don't care if it's a genetic farm.
They're raising
Just
chickens
get the
with
extra crispy.
Yeah, no,
The only good one.
four breasts, 5 legs,
Yeah,
0 wings, because those are,
those are their own
Speaking
animals.
of 0 wings,
Nice segue. Damn, son, you're getting a promotion to nothing. So, this week, we're about a week behind. We recorded 2 episodes. We're actually about 2 weeks behind.
or
But
are we a week ahead?
we are what we are, and that's all that matters. Recently, the United States Congress held its first open hearing on UFOs in 50 fucking years. Which is impressive, because the last time they did this, it was Project Blue Book. And this time, everybody discovered the DOD has a project analyzing this stuff. The big reason they did this was to try to take some of the stigma off of pilots, both commercial and military, for reporting unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is apparently the new generation's word for UFOs, which I refuse to honestly use. These are UFOs, or unidentified flying objects. God damn it, we didn't need a new name.
Well, they might not actually be objects. They could be,
Okay, all right. You got
monkey farts.
You got me on a technicality that they could be masses of energy that convert into objects and then back. But the point is, this was and they used this term, they wanted to get rid of the stigma of pilots feeling like, quote-unquote, kooks.
Yeah, well, if you're a macho, Superman pilot, and you come back and you say,
I saw an alien.
I saw something flying out
Right.
there. Here's the thing, though.
I saw someone kick Christmas trees out of a 747.
Would you shut up about my Christmas tree incident?
Here's the thing, though. How much of a stigma really is there? Because remember when they were reporting flying people next to airliners? Obviously, there's not much of a damn stigma.
There's enough of a stigma that when people do report, well, here's the thing. For years, you report anything like that, you're a fucking kook.
Well, they've changed the terminology. It's no longer stigma, it's ligma.
No, it's not.
You don't have that ligma on you.
I don't want the ligma anywhere near me, God damn it. But I don't know how much of you guys have watched. Mike, you haven't had a chance to watch any of it, right?
Oh, no. A bug just fell in my drink.
Well, it's alcohol. It's gonna be okay.
I think it might be a little roach.
Oh,
So we're able to
no.
identify that aerial phenomenon.
That is a shit phenomenon. I'm so sorry. That is the most depressing thing we have ever covered on this show.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my God, Mike, I'm sorry,
No, it's okay,
buddy.
I can make another drink.
Okay, that's
This
fair.
guy is
Meanwhile, as Kevin's dying.
Yeah, I'm dying and Mike's worried about eroding his drink.
This little guy's having the time of his life, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm
He's
sure.
drunk as hell.
He's fine. Can you scoop him out?
He's contaminating the drink.
Yeah, but it's alcohol, Mike.
I'm not
It's
that
way
hard
past the
up.
5-second rule now.
Okay, yeah, if you had done it real quick, maybe, but now, no.
Look, I am not that far gone.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So,
I have a whole half gallon of rum left.
Well, look, I assure you that at some point in the very, very near future, me and David are going to get off on a tangent, and you're going to have time to fix that drink.
Yes.
So, the point is, they start off by using the term kook, which automatically gets me a little riled up. I'm like, seriously?
So you got triggered then?
I was triggered like a mofo. David, how much of it did you see?
I watched the entire thing.
Oh, you poor son of a bitch. Dude, I made it halfway through and fell asleep.
Yeah, so the public hearing was what, an hour and 26?
Yeah, it's like an hour, 30 minutes, something like that. And then there was the non-public hearing afterwards behind closed doors, which of course is where they talk about the revisions of the Gaiety Treaty that Eisenhower wrote. So I'm sorry.
Well, we've been renovating Dulce Base. Here's what's going on.
Yeah, okay. We've decided to change the walls from gray to teal. We thought it might be better. So the basic idea, though, is that they really want to get it to where this stuff can get reported, because the first guy that was talking about how he's interested in like these unidentified ones, and the second guy who starts talking from Congress is discussing, I am more concerned with Chinese and Russian aircraft and what's the term, unmanned UAVs.
Unmanned aerial vehicles.
Yes, unmanned aerial vehicles. They're very concerned about that. Drones. Yeah. So totally understandable, but I feel like both of these things have a place in this because, David, do you remember what J. Allen Hynek said at the end of his tenure on Project Blue Book?
I have a vague recollection, but I do not remember it completely.
Okay, so his basic idea was that a large portion of these sightings that we have been researching are very easily identified as misidentified standard, like, aircraft or aerial phenomenon or weather patterns.
Right.
But there is a percentage, like, in the double digits, like, okay, admittedly, like 15%, something like that. That is...
Yeah, I think it was something like 10%.
Yeah, 10%, somewhere in there. That is unidentifiable and unexplainable. And Unexplained! And the entire point of continuing research is to try to figure out what is up with that 10%. And the government was like, nope, you're done. Okay, that's it. Most of them are bullshit. That's all we need. And shut down Project Blue Book, which sent Hynek on the trajectory that the rest of his life fucking took. Now, the general consensus of what happened with this hearing, of course, is that a large majority of this is identifiable aircraft or aerial phenomenon or weather, and about 10% is unexplained.
Yeah.
So,
you brought up that point about you had the two senators. It was a Senate hearing, correct?
Yes, it was a Senate hearing.
Yeah, so the two senators, one had the idea of like, well, we don't know what this is, and then the other one was like, we're focusing mostly on what,
Russia, China, or enemies.
Russia, China, that sort of thing. Any adversarial nations, which I have an issue with that because if you start thinking that everybody's an adversary, you're going to start, I don't know.
No,
that's me. I'm a peaceful boy.
Are you? Are you? Really?
I try to be.
Okay.
I try to be.
Okay, that's fair. Mike, are you a peaceful boy?
Maybe a little bit, but so adversarial doesn't necessarily mean hostile.
Okay,
it just means
that's fair.
Adversarial to the Senate means hostile.
Okay, ideological adversaries, though.
So you cannot deny that Russia and China are adversarial in some ways because they hack the shit out of us.
But they are also dependent on our money.
Well, no, not really.
Well, they want our money.
Well, they don't want our money.
God damn it, Mike, let me have this one.
They want our legitimacy. Well, China at least wants our legitimacy.
Oh, yeah, no, obviously.
What legitimacy we have left.
Yeah, I mean, that is quickly eroding, obviously.
It's eventually going to be China looking at us going, "They're damaged." It's like David Letterman turning down the Tonight Show going, no, Jay Leno already had you.
Yeah.
No, but you know, what I mean by this adversarial thing is it's very much kind of like a saber-rattling thing when I think...
Oh, it is, though.
That's not what we need to... couching it in those terms, I think, is doing more harm than good here.
Yeah, but you're not, especially in the current world climate, you're not gonna get around that right now.
Well, so
yeah, I know it's something that has to happen, but I can also not like it.
And by saying adversarial, they aren't being specific about who they're saying. I mean, you and I know it.
Enemies,
but I mean, they're not even naming names. Mm-hmm. They're just saying
actually, they did name names. They did say China and Russia,
but
specifically,
and
North Korea.
Yeah. Well, I guess they could, but
let's not get into that.
No weather balloon.
I'm just saying whether North Korea has the
North Korea sent
resources to
North Korea will end up eventually sending a Hallmark metallic balloon with a firecracker attached.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. I have no doubt that they could send a missile somewhere, but
sure
to the espionageal acumen it would take
acumen,
whatever.
Acumen's what you put on food.
A cumin is definitely a spice.
That it would take to, come to America and do things with drones. Seems a little beyond
Sexy time with drones.
Beyond their scope.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because they would get here, the agent. I don't think DPRK sends people to America simply because they would never come back.
Yeah, no. The minute they saw actual U.S. society, they'd be like, "Fuck this! There's tacos and chicken on a stick."
No, I think living on the street in America is probably better than so they could have their families hostage. I do admit that.
Yes, they would have to come back because of that.
But yeah, for everything I've heard about Korea, North Korea.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm right now, I got a 3-month trial to Apple TV.
Yeah.
So, first thing I watched was Prehistoric Planet, obviously.
Yeah. Of course.
But the second thing I watched was For All Mankind, and I absolutely love it, and I think you would really like it, Mike.
Now,
especially
that's
how it
one
deals
about the space program, correct?
Yeah. The history.
Where it's Russia gets to the moon first.
Yeah, no, I watched the hell out of that.
Okay.
I watched both seasons.
Okay, cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't see it.
Midway through season 2 right now, and I'm just like, this is so good. But when you're talking about that quality of life thing, I'm on the episodes where the cosmonauts are in the U.S., and it's like, can you give us Jack Daniels?
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Of course, also, I'd be like, no, I can give you something better.
Yeah, so Kevin, season 1 was pretty, Apollo era kind of stuff. And it was fairly tied close to, events that
history and just flipping it.
But season 2 basically gets into fucking moon base.
Mm-hmm. And the way it accelerates, but it also does that other thing when you do an alternate history where some shit is the same and it annoys the crap out of me.
Okay, that's fair.
Like Reagan,
president.
Like Reagan was always going to be president, but just I wish they would have been like, oh, let's go throw a real curveball here,
and have that
Walter Mondale,
other guy that was ran against him. I don't know,
or even some other another Republican or something like that. But it's they have Nixon in the first season, and then they have Ted Kennedy, and that sort of thing. So it's one of those things where it's
So that was a little different. They had Ted Kennedy as not Ted. The other one, right?
No, it's Ted.
Yeah, it was Ted.
The big fat one, the fat murderous.
They made that reference to Chappaquiddick, him not going to that party at Chappaquiddick, and I just laughed.
Oh my god! Yeah, he drove a woman into a river and killed her.
Yeah.
Our
politicians are evil.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much. Now, Anyway, the point is of all this, I don't remember because we got sidetracked on adversarial countries. But the point is, what was your point, David, of bringing that back up?
Okay, yeah. So, like, for me, it was mostly just like we're in a very kind of like precarious climate right now, and just to see that like bald-faced, like saber rattling, just kind of like
right. Okay, I can understand that.
It messed with me a little bit because I'm just like, you know, let's try to be a little optimistic here. Let's have a little fun. Like, keep those concerns.
Close
try to focus those
chest.
Concerns in the closed session. You know what I mean?
Right, but that didn't happen.
No.
And then they sort of kink shamed the guy for going to sci-fi cons.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you're telling me they con shamed him?
Yeah. Yeah, no, they were like, and I understand you dressed up for the conventions. He's like, I did not. I am a fan of science fiction.
It's 2022. Let the man fucking dress up if he wants to.
He had this beautiful point of like, you know, when he was growing up, you know, the Apollo missions that they had like all these space shows. You know, they had he didn't name like Star Wars or Star Trek,
but he did talk about like, you know, there was all this optimistic space shows, and then he talked about like how, you know. There are still members of my family that do not believe we landed on the moon, which we obviously did. And I'm like, oh my god.
We did an entire 2 episodes about that.
Yeah.
Fuck. No, but like I understand why they asked that question, because it was meant to be kind of like an icebreaker. But like the tone around it felt very strange.
Yeah, I bet you probably screwed some green chicks at the convention, didn't you, there, guy? And the look on his face was kind of like, "Why would you do this to me?"
Could have asked a different question, like, you know,
I understand you like lightsabers,
or you know, I understand you go to conventions. What does what do sci-fi people think of?
I want to point out that these were Republican senators, so we're not going to get that.
What got you interested in unidentified aerial phenomenon? Something like that, right? Something so that way you could be like, oh yeah, no, I love UFO stories.
Sir, why are you so goddamn weird and in charge of this thing for our God's government? No, it totally kind of had that feel to it.
Why are you a communist?
Why are you an African American talking to us? That's the worst part.
That was definitely one of the vibes I got, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was definitely why is a black man speaking to me? And I hated that.
Yeah, I didn't. So I meant to watch this, but I never got around to it
I'm kind of glad you didn't.
Because it does sound very dull.
It is insanely dull.
I proposed we like watch it as a group and riff it, but it sounds like we would just fall asleep.
I fell asleep halfway through and had to wake up so I could go to work.
You know, and here's the thing. For a public hearing, you expect to see one dude dressed in a costume in the background. Did not happen.
No, not even once. There was no dude in a green suit. In fact, there were empty spaces, empty seats that said reserved, where somebody was just like, I do not give a shit about this.
So they artificially like limited the peanut gallery to keep out the weirdos.
You know, now that you mention it, that's a good conspiracy, Mike.
Yes.
So
I'm not immune to conspiracy. I just like to think I think them through.
The real ones. Yeah. But it was interesting. Like, I saw 2 of the videos. The first one being from a Navy aircraft out the window, where they're looking at something and the camera moves over, and then a silver sphere shoots through the frame at just this insane rate of speed. Like, they're booking it, and this thing just like it's maybe in 2 frames.
So one thing I want to do before we get too deep into the weeds here with the evidence, I want to mention the 2 gentlemen who were, testifying. Well, it's not a testification; it's a
being questioned.
They were being questioned. So you have Defense for Intelligence and Security Representative Ronald Moultrie and Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence Scott Bray.
Yes, Mr. Moultrie was the African-American gentleman. I thought he presented himself very well, despite them jumping on the whole con-shaming thing.
Yeah, it was a very weird kind of way to open shit up. It was very
weird-ass vibe, yeah. Mr. Bray presented the videos, which if you want to go back and watch this and see Mr. Bray try to capture the object on video for 10 minutes. And
oh my God, that was painful.
Like your grandpa trying to pause on when the gnome ran out.
Okay, well, let's not be ageist about this, because my students have done the same fucking shit in class.
Fair, but still.
Where it's like they don't know how to, like, queue up what they want. Yeah, they don't write a fucking timestamp on their hand or
I so fucking would have, because, like, it's just embarrassing in a public hearing. You're going, hang on. Wait.
Almost got it.
Did you sit? Wait, shit. Okay, hang on. Wait.
Back up.
Fuck. Yeah, no, that's basically what happened for like 5-10 minutes. Just him doing that.
You know, and that was because Senator Schiff.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, because he's pretty good, but he's like, no, I mean, we didn't get a good clear look at it.
Yeah, I think the glaucoma kept them from seeing the ship, because like the first time I watched it, I was like, ooh, shit, there it is. But then again, I'm watching it. It's full screen on my monitor. They're like 15 feet away maybe from the monitor, and they want to see it. So I can't really blame them for that, but it is so goddamn awkward watching them do that shit.
You'd think they would have... you see, that's my question, is why didn't they prepare more of like a... Okay, so obviously, like, if they were to do an edited version that has the specific stuff, I could see that as being like, hey, why are you showing us edited footage? But why couldn't they show the original and then have the edit like they do on any fucking Discovery Channel show with UFOs, where they slow it down and put a little circle?
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
My theory is that they were paid by members of Congress to fuck this up. And I don't mean the two men doing the presentation. I mean their assistants.
No, they weren't. No, Kevin, this kind of ties into something you were going to... But you mentioned before... Well, you mentioned to me
before the show.
Before the show. But I think it sounds like there was... well...
I don't think they expected them to ask for it. How's that?
Well, no, yeah. Well, that, but also... shit. I lost
too much rum.
Yes, that is exactly the problem.
Oh, so you did drink the rum with the roach in it?
No, he didn't. I watched him
like
make
the tequila with the worm.
Oh, God.
I drank the roach.
No.
You drink the rum roach, kid?
I'm going to retch.
Oh, my God. That is so fucking amazing. The rum roach is our new thing.
I drink the roach.
Rum roach.
We're going to have to make that a t-shirt.
Oh, God.
Little Roach wearing a MUFON t-shirt.
And cut.
So, here's the thing, though. What I was going to say, and do you mind if I go ahead and bring this up, Mike, while we're talking about this? Okay. So, yes, this was one of the most boring presentations I've ever seen, and my original thought was it would take Congress to take the topic of UFOs/UAPs and make it boring, and then I realized, I've seen this before. In every fucking presentation about UFOs at a convention ever made, it is the most boring goddamn thing you've ever seen or heard.
So it's either willful malice or just these people are not very good entertainers.
No. What it is they're trying to make it scientific, which makes it dry.
Well, because I have a different read on this.
They think scientific equals dry.
It kind of does when you get people like Stanton Freeman involved.
I think with the right person, like look at Carl Sagan.
Okay, sure, but like us, like you got to jump in both feet. You can't just be like, I think this may be visitors. No,
they actually addressed it. I watched the whole thing, and they actually, yes, because a lot of their data was narrative driven, where it was encounter stories. What they were trying to do is they were trying to justify a more scientific and data-driven process, whereby reporting, the reporting process, they need to record instrument logs and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So right now, what they're doing, a lot of this was a pitch for funding.
Okay.
This was a pitch for funding of like, here's the phenomenon we're looking at.
Again,
here's how we want to approach this.
I tried to make it through, but it was so goddamn boring. I fell asleep.
I watched the whole thing, man. I watched the whole thing.
What is wrong with you?
This is why shit doesn't get done in Congress.
That's true.
Everyone is bored off their ass. What they need to do, they need to hire like entertainers.
Penn and Teller.
Like they need like fucking Penn and Teller, fucking Louis C.K. They're like
no.
Okay, admittedly, yes, he would relate to the congressman closer, but let's just go with Penn and Teller up there.
He's just what like rolled off the top of the drunk head.
Wow. Okay, that's fair, but damn.
But anyone else to just take their shit, their boring ass shit, and make it entertaining.
Oh yeah, like just do a new episode of Penn and Teller's bullshit about UAPs and show that to them.
So here's the thing. Like, everybody is reading this thing and they thought it was going to be a disclosure thing. It really wasn't. Like, they set it up right away that it is literally just like, here's the data that we have to deal with. Here's the process by which we're going to approach this data.
Yeah.
We need funding. Here's how this funding can be used. It was basically a proposal.
Right.
Now the thing is, with this whole process, like,
Reddit
a lot of hay was made. A lot of hay was made about like the fact that most of this encounter record that they have and this data that they picked up from the previous organization is strictly narrative, and their focus, they want to be more data driven, so that's their focus here.
I mean, that makes Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the same thing. That makes sense because,
Yeah, how many friggin' UFO videos have you seen on YouTube and gone, well, that's obviously CGI?
Well, that and
who has a camera out 24/7 to catch his shit?
The unreliable narrator, people's
right. And I got to thinking about that. If I was a pilot and I saw one of these things, Mike, you know me, I'd lose my shit.
Yeah. Well, also you see something. Well, like I've always said, the human brain is really good at trying to describe something.
Oh, well,
so when you see something that you don't know what the fuck it is, your brain is going to start filling in the gaps because your brain hates an information vacuum.
Well, it's not just that. We're a narrative species. We have to come up with a story for it.
Well, not only we don't have to come up with a story, but we have to have it has to fit in a pigeonhole of our experience.
What I mean is, after the fact has occurred, one of the things we do, and I've been reading about this in my psychology books, is that you develop a narrative. Like, my story's about going to fucking, what's the name of the place? Rodney. Me and Warren have very different versions of that story.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying more of like the description of what happened.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
I'm like the physical description of what you saw.
Right. And you get that a lot in UFO encounters.
Yeah. So, you see an object, you see something, you see obviously something visually. Well, your brain starts trying to figure out, well, what is that? How far away is that? How fast is it moving? And the human brain is not the perfect instrument to figure out all those variables. No. It is a very fungible and misdirected.
Are we talking about apes now?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about apes.
Tokens got funged.
Yeah.
My monkey got funged.
Seth Green got funged.
Did he?
You didn't see? You didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
Seth Green got an ape stolen that he was developing a series around, like a actual show.
Well, you know what? That's sad and all, but also kind of fuck him.
Exactly.
Because apes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
If you're trying to make a show, an animated show around an ape, a bored ape, NFT,
go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself deep and hard.
And then that whole thing is also really stupid to me because the NFT is just that. It's just that singular image. So you don't even need that singular image to create.
You could still do it.
Well, see, here's the thing. In the NFT world, it is given that when you buy an NFT, you own the copyright and all the legal.
So what you're saying?
Hujamaju around an image.
So when we go up in the virtuality world, and he gets his monkey stole, he can't make the show.
True.
Okay.
So
let's move on.
Also, well, okay. One more thing.
Go ahead.
Also predicated on the fact that the new owner, if they were to sue, so
if he made a show,
I could make a show based on freaking name a copyright thing.
Homer Mouse.
Homer Simpson.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse is a little gray area because parts of Mickey Mouse is public domain. No.
Homer Simpson then.
But Homer Simpson. I make a Homer Simpson thing. Well, I'm free and clear until Fox or Disney now decides to come and push my shit in.
And now you're double fucked because it is in fact Disney.
But so Seth Green could theoretically still make it and just hope that the new quote owner of his ape doesn't actually sue him.
Please, Mr. Monkey Man, don't sue me. Jesus God. I just Can we not do an episode on NFTs? I just want to get that out there.
It's not it is crypto.
Yeah,
but just doesn't have the zoology
it's not
part.
Cryptid.
Yeah.
So, okay, now what the fuck were we talking? This is going to be a lot of what the fuck were we talking about in this episode.
Yes.
We're talking about the fact that they were moving to data.
Well, I said fungible.
You did say fungible.
Led us down that rabbit hole.
But we're talking about the human mind being irreliable as a witness because, well, fucking obviously. I mean, like, there's a part of me, I know that when we were at Grand Gulf, we just heard a tree fall and we ran off and I thought it was Bigfoot. But in my head, I see Bigfoot. And I know that's bullshit.
Considering it was a kind of a cliff scenario, and the trees were a good
sheer drop off with treetops below us.
Yeah, the treetops below us
was a Bigfoot.
Was about 50 feet below us.
Oh, it was like a 40-foot tall Bigfoot. I saw his head, man. He was breathing smoke. He had a vape. He was just like the coolest dude ever.
Attack on Bigfoot.
Yeah, no, it was Attack on Bigfoot. I like that. But the point is, yes, the human mind is very questionable at best, so they've got to go with the data.
And so, in a lot of, airline, pilot, airplane scenarios, there's data about the aircraft.
Right.
But
nothing about what's surrounding it.
Nothing around it except the military does a lot of that because they do a lot of targeting other shit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But,
the tic-tac.
Even commercial airliners have radar that will detect other, aerial vehicles of a certain size. I think they have to be it's got to be bigger than most commercial drones. Probably got to be about the size of a Cessna or something.
Literally bigger than a bread box.
Yes. Okay. But even then, you have to, people will be like, oh, well, aliens, of course you're not going to pick them up on radar. But so
this is the best episode. God damn it!
And of course, most commercial airliners aren't also like. I mean, I'm sure they're recording some of their radar telemetry and stuff like that, but it's not like the most important shit to record.
Oh God, no! The black box.
Yeah, the black box.
Are screaming as they die.
Things that are more important than the radar on board the airliner.
The passengers breathing?
Well, every bit of communications. Yeah, every bit of
life support, basically.
Well, atmospheric data.
Right.
Every bit of every engine temperature and all that shit. So that's probably pretty low, and it's probably also like a lot of surveillance systems overwritten periodically, I'd imagine.
Sure. So unless it's like super important.
Unless they land and the airliner's like, we need to save this data, it's probably just going to just disappear.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the nightly tapes at Rose's for the security system, where we just kept using the same tapes for like 20 years until they died, and then we'd have to go down and write one off, which I have no idea what they're doing for the security system anymore.
Yeah. Well, nowadays...
Steal from Rose's.
Hard drives.
I doubt it. Rose's is not a hard drive company. They probably have a CD burner.
God damn it.
probably like Flintstones, and they have like a spider who watches, then goes to a parrot, and then the parrot.
And then one of them looks up and goes, "It's a living."
They have like a spider that does stenography.
God. I can see this. I worked for Roses for so long. So, anyway, the point is they're going data because they have to, so it's, people aren't labeled kooks, is what it basically boils down to, right, David?
Yeah, like, I think people put a lot more thought into what this was going to be versus what it actually was.
I completely agree. Everybody thought this was disclosure. Everybody on Reddit was like, this is it. This is where we find out about the aliens. And it turns out, now this is where we find out that a large portion of people involved in the government do not know how to do public speaking. Because all of their voices are essentially like this, and it's like, so, Mr. Director, could you explain to me why the Russians or the Chinese might be possibly responsible for,
there was one question that had a preamble of about 70 sentences.
Oh my God.
That was completely confusing, and then he started arguing with, one of the gentlemen about like what the question was, and then he at the end he's like, "Okay, yes, you answered my question." It's like, well, what was your fucking question to begin with?
What? Yeah, no, it was full of things like that.
Yeah.
It was, oh my God, and like I said, I wish I had seen the whole thing, but holy shit, these people need to speed it up a little bit.
Well, and the other thing is, what was most interesting was the questions where it was like, this will have to be for the closed briefing, which tells a lot more.
Fucking crazy, dude. That's like, damn.
To be able to fly on the wall in that thing.
Oh my God, yeah.
One of the most interesting ones was about, I believe, like ocean crashes.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, we can't talk about that in this. In this. Now, one of my favorite. Now, the second video was really fascinating until they determined what it was. Do you remember the second video, David? It was recorded through night vision, through like a night vision scope, using an SLDR camera. Is that the correct term, Mike?
DSLR.
DSLR. Thank you.
Yeah, it was just an optical
Is that
illusion,
the triangle?
The triangles.
Yeah.
One of them was flashing. It does look so fucking creepy until you realize it's drones.
Well, that and, you have to realize cameras are a very, as much as we like to think of cameras as hard data, they are also susceptible to noise and distortion. The reasoning I saw for that, and I haven't, looked into it to know for sure if that's the thing, but they said that the triangular shape was because of the aperture of the camera.
That's it exactly. Every time somebody zooms in on a tiny UFO in the sky, it turns into a triangle, and everybody's like, or a diamond, and they're like, oh, look, diamond-shaped craft. I'm like, no, that's your fucking camera.
Yeah, so a small enough point of light
will just turn into that. Yeah.
Just becomes the shape of the aperture.
It just pisses me off when people cite that as evidence, because I've been doing this. I don't want you to think this is like a recent thing. I've been bitching about that since sightings on Fox in the 90s. You remember that used to come on before the X-Files?
Well, and that's one of the important things that they did here, was that they pointed that out, that was the case, and that's the kind of rigorous process that this organization must put together.
Absolutely. Yep. And even with that, there's still 10% that we don't know what the fuck.
And so I would like to go on record as saying I am for, like, if there actually did create I guess you couldn't call it an organization, but a department that, investigated this stuff, I would be for it, because one way or the other, I'm not going to say I'm against finding out what they are,
right?
But I can guess they would find out that they're not aliens. That's just the way I think, but I'm not against finding out that information one way or the other.
No, I totally understand that. You just want answers. Whatever those answers are. And that's fine. That's great. I mean, we need that in the world. It can't just be all me sitting there going, aliens.
I just, unfortunately, there seems to be a segment that if the answers come and they turn out to not be what they wanted,
they're gonna go fucking ape shit over it, and they're gonna scream, well, this is a cover-up. It's obviously a cover-up.
Conspiracy cover-up.
Conspiracy! And, well...
I get not trusting the government.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
I don't trust the government, but it's more of a... I don't trust them due to... what's the word I'm looking for?
Stupidity?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the word for stupidity? And, incompetence versus malice.
Okay, so it's more of a conspiracy of incompetence.
Yes.
I could see that.
So one of the things I'm trying to remember the exact acronym for the organization they're putting together here, but I think it was
it's like
AOI MSG.
It's like fucking tit slap, I think. I don't know. It's just something insane that needs to be renamed.
What is it?
But,
what is it again?
I think it's AOI MSG. Airborne Object Identification Management Synchronization Group. I think that's what it is.
I always ask them to keep that out of my fried rice.
That's a bit of a mouthful.
Why would you do that? Because MSG is fantastic.
I know it is. We've got a jar of it in the kitchen.
Come on. They need to realize you need to come up with a very witty and succinct acronym. You can't just
extreme.
You can't just word salad it. You got to massage that shit until you get
Well, the problem is, the minute they get a advertising company involved, it all goes out the window. All credibility goes out the window.
I kind of like the approach that it's not an easy acronym because that it's too marketable. Yeah.
Bum Slit is our new alien research group. Bum Slit.
Well, one train of thought. I forget because there were congressional and Senate representatives there.
Right.
One thing that I found interesting during the discussion was one of them was very interested in okay, so obviously they're putting together this information regarding test pilots and UAP sightings around training areas, right? That's a huge thing. That's where we're getting a lot of them.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
This person was pointing out, well, what about for the civilians who catch, civilians who see stuff? What sort of process there? And it sounds like they're trying to work on something by first coming up with a process for the training area sort of thing. And then doing a public facing.
Oh, here's a great idea. We can shave all these dudes bald and put them in black suits, and they can come and interview civilians. Wait.
I'm sorry, I heard you say shaving dudes' balls.
Bald, not balls. God
I was
damn.
Shaving them bald and painting them black? Or
no,
shaving them balls and painting them black?
Dressing them in black. God, fuck it. Never mind. Fuck y'all. Why am I doing this show? No, seriously though. I was just trying to make a Men in Black joke, and it completely fell apart. So let's move on.
I heard balls.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, let's just shave men's balls and send them out to question humans.
I space out for a minute, and you're talking about shaving balls.
God damn it! Fuck. But no, I think I honestly, the thing I got from this is they're trying to move forward in a more serious manner without just completely debunking things, and I'm actually okay with that. I was not necessarily disappointed with the hearing except for the boredom aspect. Yeah,
other than how dry and sleep-inducing it was.
Goddamn unbuttered toast in that bitch. It was something.
So they definitely weren't talking about the WAPs.
No, they were not. I'm glad. Oh my God, who is that guy that doesn't know about that? Shapiro. I'm glad he wasn't there.
Oh God.
UFOs, of course, are notoriously dry. If they're wet, it is a medical condition. My wife is a doctor. So, one of the other things I want to bring up. I killed you?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things I was going to bring up is, so right around the time this happened, a lot of people on the Reddit subforums of r/high strangeness r/UFO and r/UFOs started getting private messages, like some of the top posters start getting messages from someone with some ridiculous username like Booko World or some bullshit like that, saying, I will pay you 19 cents per post if you will discredit Lou Elizondo and Admiral Wilson publicly. And everybody starts posting it in the subreddits going, hey, did you get this? And everybody's like, yeah, I did.
Jeez.
And I checked my my Reddit inbox, and no, I did not get one.
Well, you weren't posting actively.
No, of course. But there were a couple of takers that were basically, and the best they could come up with was, oh, they're full of shit. I'm like, they couldn't, like, get in any details. Like, you know, because Lou Elizondo is, like, the big disclosure guy. Like, one of his big statements that he said in interviews was, like, they have been here longer than we think. And Admiral Wilson, I still haven't looked up a lot, but, like, he's apparently put out some kind of a PDF document about his experiences with extraterrestrials and spaceships and shit in the government. Which, believe that if you will, or don't believe it, that's not what we're covering. The fact that someone was willing to pay people to discredit these two is interesting.
So Kevin?
Yes?
Do you think that was domestic or...
Oh, that is... First off, if you read the emails, their first language is certainly not English. This is a international affair, and
so basically it's international actors trying to, like, destabilize,
not to get all, you know, InfoWars. Now, folks, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to Google alien Lou Elizondo liar. But point is, yeah, no, I don't really know what the gain is here, since everybody on there is already the most paranoid motherfucker you've ever dealt with.
Yeah.
And they get an email saying, will you discredit someone that you respect? No, but I'll tell everyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, my gut reaction is that was anticipated. Right. Because unless it was very incompetently done.
Do you think it was done to sow more distrust between these people and the government?
Yes.
Okay, so that's your... See, that makes sense to me. David?
So, getting to your point about how, like, it didn't seem like it was, like, English was a first language thing.
Right.
I'm looking at r/UFOs, and someone misspelled rogue as rouge.
Okay. Admittedly, yes, but this was like a... You know how people in Europe and, like, Western Europe in particular, or Eastern Europe in particular, don't put, like, dollar signs in the right place?
Yeah, we're two wild and crazy guys.
It wasn't just misspelling of, you know, words. It was syntaxial errors that seem like it comes from another language.
Now, admittedly,
I'm gonna blow this wide open.
Okay.
The MIB now have email.
Oh.
Ooh. Wow. You know.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd have access to Reddit then.
We have AOL.
We have AOL. Would you please say something bad about Lou Elizondo? Lou Elizondo is a liar. Is that a pin? What were you doing with that pin? Can I take that pin and touch it on my feet?
We have AOL, but AOL has been shut down for 15 years.
It's not.
No, it's not.
No. One of our friends' fathers still uses AOL as his main email address.
Yeah, but they don't have, like, dial-up modems anymore.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
You would be shocked at the number of dial-up customers they have.
Fuck. I thought better of humanity.
Man, no. Never think better of humanity. But the point is, I thought this was, like, really fascinating that this happened.
Well, it is. I mean, it's interesting. Unless they're lying, obviously, you always have to, you know...
but, like...
Take that into account. It could be, you know, just, you know, bullshit. But that aside...
Yeah, okay, but...
That aside, because it seems like more than, you know, several people have come forward for this. That, it sounds like... So, one, it's like you have to wonder, at 19 cents per post, that seems like a ridiculously low number. That's like,
I'm sure,
honestly, that is actually a pretty great amount, because I do freelancing, and I would kill for 19 cents per post.
Holy shit, that is a sad
I get paid, I usually get paid about like 5 cents a word.
Look, can you contact this guy, see if you can get a job with him?
Right? Yeah, I'll slander the fuck out of him.
Yeah, slander the fuck out of Luis Elizondo.
But that seems like, so for the average, non-social media influencer, whatever you want to call, someone that gets paid to do this kind of stuff, that seems insultingly low. Like if someone came to me and said,
not for Russia, China, or Korea.
Yeah, I mean, because that's like 1,000 rupees.
Like some dude in the Balkans is making bank if he's doing that.
I'd have to post like,
yeah, but you're an American.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is that
you're in the Balkans.
This seems like they're targeting Americans to do these posts,
which is still why I think I agree with Mike that this is totally a thing to drive a wedge between these guys and the government.
It almost that number almost guarantees that whoever is getting this in
this is
questionable English.
Yeah, and the thing is, the email begins with "Hello, my dear."
Here's the thing: if you really wanted to do a disinformation campaign, a slander campaign against these people, you could directly hire Chinese or Russian post farms that already do this kind of stuff. You don't have to solicit random Reddit users.
Yeah, and the thing I love about the response on our UFO and our UFOs is basically, hey, can we ban this guy? They weren't worried about, they weren't as a government conspiracy. It's like, hey, can we ban this dude? Because, I'm really sick of getting these. So that's really amusing to me, but, it's fascinating to me. So, What else did you pick up from the end of the thing before they went into the private conversations, David?
Oh, as far as what was told, what they said would need to be discussed in the closed session, a lot of it seemed to revolve around physical evidence, specifically things that they have found, actual physical, tangible things. And then, of course,
they talked about the glass marbles.
Talked about what?
Glass marbles.
I didn't hear any mention of that.
Okay, just checking.
But the other thing was there was a very interesting question about involving Russia and China, and then they said, no, we're going to have to talk about that during the closed session.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's obvious, because that's pertinent current international situation. I understand.
Yeah, and then part of the thing is you don't want to reveal how you're detecting this shit either. Well, if you're detecting something. So a lot of it's going to be here's how we're finding, here's how we've learned about certain things that they're doing. So something you don't want on the national stage.
Did they talk about the camera pod footage that got leaked?
Which camera pod footage?
There's a couple of them that got leaked 2 or 3 years ago.
So we're talking about the Tic Tac.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't talk about that really. They had two they had the two clips that they showed, and a lot of it was just questions from guys who have their own very specific agenda, and they weren't really educated in what UAPs are. It was a lot of basic if they weren't trying to be jingoistic and drum beat their own cause that they're going for, it was very basic questions about what can you tell us about, are these actual inorganic objects, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. Now, Mike, you said holy shit a second ago. What was that about?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I will say I did think about so one thing I did read in that came out because of this is that so there was the drone stuff that happened around Navy ships, right?
Right.
There was some footage from one of those. Mm-hmm. But that was the triangles. Yeah. But some reports also came out that after this had happened a couple of times, the Navy started deploying like drone countermeasures when this started happening. When this was happening, and one of the mentions was of a anti-drone man-portable unit that apparently is like a backpack and an antenna that can jam drone signals, and they jammed a drone that fell into the ocean.
David, I want you to picture a fucking proton pack. It basically looks drones.
Like. I mean, that sounds like it looks like a proton pack.
Oh wow, that sounds cool. Shit.
I know. I just picture them with like a proton pack and like a radar gun.
That's fucking like Terminator 2 Judgment Day Future War shit right there. Just the resistance
awesome.
Like plasmaing drones out of the sky.
And it also mentions that this is like not developed specifically for this purpose, but is something they already had. And after these things started happening, they decided to deploy for this nuisance.
Funny story, Mike. Did you know that they were working on anti-UFO weapons like that because they had a theory that what was bringing UFOs down, like the Roswell incident, was radar. So they were developing portable radar backpacks with emitters to shoot down UFOs.
Okay. That's crazy.
It was a Cold War, man. They did a lot of crazy shit.
Oh, yeah. No, there was all kinds of bonkers shit during the Cold War.
Post-World War II, shit flying around. Yeah, make a fucking laser at it. Whatever. So, this has been really fun because, like, we don't get to talk about, like, current events as much as I'd like sometimes. But this has been good. I like this. David, anything you want to follow up with that before we go into questions?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well. Like there wasn't a whole lot. All the juicy shit's obviously behind the curtain. So,
and again, a lot of people are on Reddit screaming about this isn't. It's not even the best thing. How could you just go with that footage? I'm like, motherfucker, it's yeah. No, you're not going to get the good stuff. This is begging for money. Just settle down, okay? It's all good. So, what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and start on questions while Mike is away from the mic for just a second. So, first question, let's see, is from Ghost Forge, as usual. Actually, let's go back. I think Kick Assatron had a question, and it relates to this. It says, with the recent congressional hearings given by the Pentagon, have renamed UFO, unidentified flying object, to UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, will we have to go back and edit older movies to be accurate? And I'm going to say, fucking no.
No. God, no.
God, no. UAP is like when everybody thinks they know what something is, and they come up with a new name for it so they can take it from you. That's all UAP
is. The new Coke.
It is. It's new Coke. It's always going to be UFOs. Fuck you. I'm a curmudgeon.
Well, no, I'm with you there.
So, I mean, I can kind of see why you would, as in
it has a connotation with it. Okay.
UFO has a connotation of silver
or glowy lights.
Pie plate,
okay.
vehicles.
And so Cook's yelling, I don't seen them.
Yeah, originally UFO kind of had what the UAP is supposed to be. It's kind of supposed to be a question mark. It's supposed to be
and then it became something.
Yes.
Which, I get that. I understand. And let the government use UAP all they want. I'm sticking with UFO because, God damn it, it's been too long. This is... I'm not letting them rename it like they did Boba Fett's ship, all right? I'm just saying. So, that might... I think we're all... me and David are in agreement. Mike, you get why they're doing it, though. And I get why they're doing it. I just don't accept it.
Yeah.
All right, so our next question is from Ghost Forge. He asks, what do you make of the fact that, and this is unrelated entirely, what do you make of the fact that the ritualistic garb said to have been worn by those interacting with the Ark of the Covenant seems to be fancy yet primitive protection gear akin to the sort of people wear when they use dentist x-ray machines? And what he means is the large metallic breastplate and everything.
Oh, I saw Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Obviously, yeah. It's got the jewels with the names of the tribe of Israel on it. The 12 jewels.
So is that supposed to be accurate?
Yeah, no. That is a typical ancient Jewish. Like, here's the thing, Mike. I know you haven't like read the Bible, but like if you go through and read like the stuff after they get out of Egypt, and God starts laying down the laws, he specifically describes exactly how they're to build the tabernacle for the Ark of the Covenant and exactly what the priests are supposed to wear, including a metallic bib.
So, metallic, does it say what kind of metal?
Yes, I want to say it was brass or copper. Or no, gold. It was gold. Gold.
It is gold.
It is gold.
Okay.
Covered in jewels with the names of the tribes of Israel.
That, along with what you described Moses having.
What do you mean? His glowing face?
Yeah. It kind of makes me think the Ark of the Covenant was radioactive.
You know,
because gold
you're not the first person.
Almost as good of a radiation shield as lead.
I know. That's fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah, that does raise some interesting
and
questions.
Considering it was number one, used as a weapon, could kill people that were near it. I think only certain people were allowed near it that were wearing those outfits, and it would like deteriorate organic matter.
I think they found like a
uranium,
like I wouldn't say unnatural,
like a natural reaction, like a natural.
So there are.
It's been discovered. I've heard about this.
So there are natural nuclear reactors that are found that it is enough uranium. Grouped together that it just produces heat.
Mike, do you know what the Ark of the Covenant was made of? Super thick gold.
Yeah.
So I would say dummy thick.
Dummy thick.
It was basically a naturally occurring nuclear reactor. Because think about it, you're a semi-primitive group compared to what we understand. We can call that primitive. You find
now, we'll get into my whole thing later.
You find kind of like some kind of geode-like structure, but it's warm. Like no matter what you do,
Ezekiel.
It's warm, and you die when you touch it. Well, that's God. Well, it's not God, but it's part of God.
It's the waves of God coming off it. Yes, I mean that totally.
You find out through trial and error that gold blocks it.
Well, also, you want to enshrine it, so you would do it with gold.
So you enshrine it in gold, and then
you
all
find
of a sudden,
people stop dying.
Yes,
that's actually a really good postulation there, Mike. David, what do you think?
I'm actually with Mike on this one.
You know what? I am too. Now, I'm not saying that maybe God wasn't speaking through the radiation. We're not going to go there. But,
you never know.
I'm with Mike.
Higher energy particles. Who knows what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, no. Mutated into like a God receiver. Because Moses was glowing. His face, when he came down from Mount Sinai, was glowing.
So
and everybody
that's one
was
thing,
like...
though, is that radiation doesn't do that to you.
Okay, but what about God radiation?
Well, you never know.
The language of God is just the clicking of the radiation meter as it cooks your brain.
Geiger counter.
They made
a primitive, click.
primitive Geiger counter out of
I'm pretty sure
twine.
Hey, Steve just died. Is your Geiger counter?
Yeah, it's
how many? And
instead of canaries in a coal mine, it's dudes in a.
Remember, the Ark of the Covenant was known to have a cloud around it that would shoot energy out of it and kill people that displeased it, because apparently God does not like incense.
It was God's rickshaw.
It was God's rickshaw.
Just chilling in there.
This is nice. This is really nice.
God is just ionizing radiation.
There you go. So we got another question from Kick-Assatron. With the Pentagon confirming UFOs and people being meh about it, will the future of space exploration be purely capitalistic? Do we need a date the Earth stood still type situation to get us off our asses?
So,
I knew Mike would have some opinions.
So space exploration, even though we do have capitalists moving into that realm, that's always been there. So even NASA's,
Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, even NASA's earliest shit was built by capital corporations.
Right.
NASA didn't build anything.
And
NASA set out, design parameters and, budgets, recommendations. They did a lot of the science that was used to create such things.
Let's think for a second. What is Elon Musk taking into space? NASA people.
Yeah. So, the original Apollo that went to the moon, the lander was made by oh God, I can't remember now. But yeah, every component was made by what we would now call the military industrial complex.
Boeing, Raytheon.
Yeah, Boeing, Raytheon, Aerojet Rocketdyne, people that build, planes,
Cyberdyne
bombs,
systems,
ICBMs, yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Basically any company that you'd want to call in case you want to start a war crime.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
it's got to have the Bushes. It's got to have Rumsfeld. It's got to have all those guys.
So space exploration has always been, except for like the probes themselves. Like pretty much every probe we send out has been built by JPL, but it's launched
on private rockets.
Well, it's been launched on
privately built rockets.
Yes. Privately built to NASA's specifications, but
contracted rockets. Yeah. How's that?
Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of the probes have also been built on contract too, but I'd say
the scientists have
50-50.
Much more input into that.
But so separating, space exploration from capitalistic, stuff is not going to happen.
Right.
But you can hope that you
want it to become more of a national pride thing where the government's more involved.
So, well, actually the other way, I think.
God. You want it to be more corporate or capitalistic.
For mankind.
What's that?
It brings us back to For Mankind, what we were talking about earlier, that TV show.
So if you look at space exploration, and it wasn't until private industry started becoming more involved and taking more of the lead. So up until the end of the space shuttle, after the end of the space shuttle, America had no human-rated launch systems. We were buying seats from the Russians.
Right.
And it took capitalist companies saying, we want to do this, to bring human launches back to America.
And make it apolitical.
I can't call it apolitical.
Fuck me. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying you can't really call it apolitical.
That's true. It's all America.
I guess it kind of is apolitical because they don't care about the politics. They just want the money.
Okay, that's fair.
But
like America.
So, like any exploration, Kevin, you're a student of history.
Obviously, it's always funded by people that want money and gold.
So it may start out as government funded, or in the past it was royalty funded, but that's the government,
right?
But eventually it becomes a capital venture because they realize money can be made.
Yeah, you go from being sponsored by the Queen of Spain to being sponsored by the Hudson Bay Company because they want that beaver.
Yeah, so,
I was hoping for a joke there. Somebody want to talk about wanting that beaver?
Well, I think that's a gibbon.
Oh, shut up.
But, It's kind of an inevitable thing because, any scientific venture inevitably becomes capitalistic. If that makes sense. Like the science,
I get it.
The science says something's possible,
so
and then we figure out how to make money out of it.
Right.
Somebody figures out how to make money out of it.
Yeah. And
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but it can become a bad thing.
Right. So the next stage is going to be inside the solar system mining.
Yeah, which
even if it's mining for water, it's going to be a commercial mining operation.
Yes, I mean NASA doesn't give a shit about mining asteroids.
But
I mean,
somebody
they
does.
kind of do, but they don't care to do it enough that would pay for a mission to do it. I mean, they would love, they do have missions already going to asteroids that are going to find out what's on them, but doing anything beyond that's the pure science part, is finding out what the asteroids are made of, because that's all that has answers to a lot of questions about, the creation of solar systems in the universe.
Right.
But after that,
what can we do with it?
They don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to be like, well, what can I do with it? Can
Exactly.
I fuck it?
Yeah. Can I fuck it? Can I, material fuck it? Can I suck off all its resources and put it in my pockets?
So you think it's basically going to stay capitalistic?
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what drives human history when you get down to it.
I think there's a natural progression from exploratory.
That's true, because
to capitalism.
The first real expansion of humanity beyond tribalism was, I got milk and you got eggs.
Yeah, it's what can we do with it? What's that? What can we do with it? How can we profit off of it?
Sure. David, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we're probably, our next big space development's probably going to be Amazon Moon.
Oh, fuck.
Like, I fully believe that that's where things are heading, and it's going to be, we're literally moving into a period of corporate slavery in an oxygen-controlled environment.
Oh, wait,
that's where we're heading. That's where we're heading to where,
like, the workers, the bad guy is going to be Elon Musk.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be a thing where, like, if the workers want to petition for any improvements on Amazon Moon, like back on Earth, Jeff Bezos can just turn off the oxygen for like 2 minutes
and kill everybody, or just scare them. Yeah. No, I really hate to say it. I see that. I can see that. I can see Musk buying Mars, and when that happens, I'm checking out.
He's not going to buy Mars. He can't buy Mars.
He'll just claim it.
Because there's international treaties, but he can set up cities that are quote-unquote his. I don't think he will, because I think anything like that is going to be beyond his lifespan.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, okay, Elon Musk the third.
I think that we will have, Mars landings within his lifetime and our lifetime, hopefully. Knock on wood.
I don't know. You're making a lot of plans. I don't know that my ass can cash.
But I don't think we're going to have permanent, Mars bases in that time.
Okay.
Just because of how hard it is. I mean, it is just getting people. So a lot of people say, we got to the moon and we did nothing else, in the intervening 40 years.
Because it was hard as fuck.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, we could, if we had put our nose to the grindstone, spent a shit ton of money, maybe not done the space shuttle, but continued Apollo, we could have had a moon base. But it would make Antarctica look like a fucking Disney World.
Well, I also feel like we would have been on like our third moon base, and that one might have survived.
I mean, I don't think anyone would have died. But
you're more optimistic than I am.
We're talking about something that takes, I think, if I remember correctly, it took about a week to get to the moon, something like that. 6 days, I think it was. So a 6-day round trip. And so anything, say they found out they needed like penicillin, or I mean, obviously they'd have that, but they found out something they needed. They needed a part to like fix their fucking life support system. They would have to launch that. It would take 6 days to get there. Well, obviously they're going to have an escape craft. So if something came up they couldn't fix immediately with the stuff they had and they figured they needed and brought with them, they would have to launch that. It would take, however long it takes to get there, like better part of a week. It's just not something that's long-term sustainable.
Well, the good thing is now, like, if we were to start getting these space missions going again, all I need to do is bring up a 3D printer for, like, micro-manufacturing stuff.
I mean, for some things, yes.
Well, yeah, obviously for some, like not everything, of course, but that's the other reason why you want the moon mining operation, because that you could probably potentially get some ore, from the asteroids and that sort of thing, and nudge them to the moon's in the moon's orbital area. And
yeah, so as someone that has a 3D printer, I can see its limitations. It sounds like the awesomest thing, and it is. It's pretty cool that you have a thing that takes, what looks like, weed whacker string and turns it into physical objects. But it has very, very strict limitations. Like, even the best 3D printers, if, can have, 5, 6, or 7 like materials, but they have to be plastic, basically. So if you want to build, say, a CO2 filter, that takes certain chemicals and things that unless you brought them with you, you're SOL.
Yeah, but this is like all like pie in the sky future.
Right. Well, yeah,
futurism shit here too.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it with the lens of what we have today. If we had.
I was just going to say, now, you're saying all this, but you're missing the obvious thing that the moon is hollow.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
You forgot it's hollow. There's oxygen in there. We're set already. We just have to go...
drill down, baby.
Drill down and take it over from the moonoids.
I just realized we've been, on this tangent of just a question for, however long this has been.
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
So,
I think that's a pretty good answer. What was the question about the commercialization of space?
Do you like space booty?
Yeah.
No, it was about, do you think it's gonna be purely capitalistic, or do you think we'll ever join together as a species and explore the universe?
So I like to think we would become Star Trek. I really do. And if I had my druthers, we would be that way. But I think the greed reflex in people is too high to allow that to happen.
Especially when you're getting into, even though there's an abundance of material in space, it's hard to get it. So there is this issue of scarcity as well, in a different way than we have here on Earth.
So yeah, Star Trek is, specifically a post-scarcity society, and we would have to achieve that. And I don't see that happening. I think it will happen. I have to believe it'll happen.
I don't.
It will take a while. I think there's enough resources, even on this planet. There is enough resources, but we have to overcome our greed, and that's kind of
love the optimism, Mike. But you're wrong.
Oh, come on, I'm not wrong.
So
we just have to make it.
How'd that roach taste, by the way?
It tasted wonderful. Crunchy.
So having talked for 10 minutes about that, which great topic, by the way. Thank you, Kick-Ass-tron, for that one.
No, whenever someone brings up something we just ramble about for ungodly minutes, that's a good question.
Yeah, good question. So we have another question. This is a short one from Sam, one of our newest listeners that Ghost Forge brought into the community. So welcome, Sam. We're happy to have you. Sam asks, what's the horniest cryptid and why?
Y'all go first.
I gotta think David, you go first.
Chupacabra.
Chupacabra? Really?
Okay, number one, goat sucker.
Okay, yeah, but I mean...
Number two, every chupacabra I have met has been a total fuckboy. And by that, I mean it's just some dude who goes by the nickname Chupacabra.
You've met a dude named Chupacabra?
Yes.
What the hemorrhaging fuck? I've never met a dude named Chupacabra.
Because it's a very horny fucking name.
Okay, look. I mean, at one gas station in my old hometown of Morton, they have the old dispenser that spits out horny goat weed, but that's different.
We could probably make Chupacabra brand horny goat weed.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, get your goat sucked with. Yeah. Anyway, I personally am gonna say Bigfoot. Because he's a big man with big passions.
Now, wait. Here, I'm going to consult my wife here, because she just wandered out into the living room.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Holly. Do you believe that the Chupacabra is the horniest cryptid?
Or is it Bigfoot?
No. Oh, she said no.
Oh, what is it?
No.
What is it?
Sasquatch, of course.
Yes! I said Sasquatch.
The Sasquatch or the Mothman?
I don't know about the Mothman.
I'd fuck either. Not gonna.
Oh no!
Oh, dude, wow!
I've seen the fanfic.
Sorry,
y'all need counseling now.
Sorry, you're getting cucked by Sasquatch.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you didn't hear what my nickname is.
Oh yeah, no. I thought your nickname was Mantis Cuck.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm Lil Sassy.
Little Sassy.
Sasquatch.
Well, I was going to say that, Sasquatch because, all the erotic porn written by Mr. Chuck Tingle.
He is so horny. I mean, like, everybody talks about the skunk ape, and I'm like, that's not skunk, that's musk.
The musk
That is
ape.
like horny
the Elon
musk.
Musk ape?
Like, you get up near him, and this just funk overpowers you, and the next thing you know, you're in his warm embrace, and he looks at you and goes, "Come with me to my lair." And the next thing you know, you just got him inside you.
Kevin.
Yeah?
You sound a little too close to this one, bud.
I'm just saying. Look, I blame last
saying.
podcast.
You're just saying.
Do you know?
You think it sounds like you've thought about being in Sasquatch's warm, manly embrace.
Hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and say it, motherfucker. No, I will not deny it. I've thought about it. I'm just saying, like, if this big, hairy motherfucker, just this mountain of a man, grabs you in his arms and goes, "Come with me to the Casbah," I'm going to the Casbah.
Here's the thing: you're out there in the woods, you're squatching, you've got the ape pheromones all over you.
Okay.
Maybe the ape pheromones are working on you because we're pretty close to apes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're sitting there going, "Hey, I'm getting myself kind of turned on here."
Maybe you splash a little bit on yourself. You're like, "Ooh, I kind of like this," and then you see a big titty Sasquatch wandering out.
Could be
big
a man.
Yeti Naturals.
Could be a man.
I think
whatever works, man.
I think what Kevin's saying is he wants to be in a Sasquatch threesome.
I know.
A Sasquatchsome.
No, either one. But if it's a dude, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. He picks me up and he's like, "Come with me," and I'm like, "I'm the sub."
Like, what are you going to do in that situation? Like, you can't fight back.
I'm going to giggle and snort is what I'm probably going to do. But the point is,
I've learned so much about you in this past 5
I'm
minutes.
just saying, I'm not saying, I want it to happen, but it did happen. I'm not really going to complain.
He's not going to complain when his shirt is ripped open by Mr. Henderson.
Motherfucker.
He's just like, I got
Harry
Sasquatch
Henderson.
DNA. Call a scientist.
Yeah, no, I'd be like, quick,
Where is it? I'm going to need a bucket.
Yeah, I can only hold it close so long. My O-ring is weak.
Oh, come on. With a Sasquatch, you would have no hope of holding it.
That's really true. I just have to, squat over a hole and dip it out with a ladle.
This is the worst tangent we've ever been on.
This is the worst ending to an
Worst
episode
or
we've ever
best?
done. A little of both,
Did we ever get
honestly.
mics?
So Kevin stole mine, so I'm trying to come up with a new one. How about...
Could go with Nessie. I mean, he'd have to fuck constantly to keep a Loch Ness monster.
No. I think unfortunately, if there's a Nessie, they're very lonely.
Incel Nessie.
No, just they're living alone.
It's like a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, the Nessie wants to find a mate, and that's what the Pixar movie is.
And then it has to go into the Hollow Earth and has to fight Godzilla.
Yeah.
I want to
There
see
you
that
go.
movie.
So, does Spring Hill Jack count?
Oh, he's horny as shit.
He's
Dude.
horny
Oh,
as
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
from what I've
Oh
heard.
yeah, no, he is like.
But I don't know if
too
he's
horny.
technically a cryptid.
Yeah, kinda. It's close enough.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he
Yeah.
counts. He counts.
Kind of
Yeah.
a cryptid / urban legend.
He's an urban legend cryptid. He's a hybrid.
Some people believed he was a demon, so yeah.
Some people think he was a UFO.
So I have to
whatever.
say that guy fucks.
Oh, and he does not
And
take no
not
for an
consensually.
answer. Yeah.
Well, so
We're not saying we condone his actions. We're just saying he is
I don't know.
obviously the horniest cryptid.
but in my mind, horny is not a bad thing. That rapey
Speaking
is
of
different
someone
than
who is horny.
Yeah. Speaking as a horny man,
I think when horny becomes rapey, it's bad.
Well, obviously, but also there's some people where you're just like, okay, down, bad. No.
Yeah. But no, that's a totally legit theory, because, I mean, goddamn, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just jumping.
He was a horny man.
He was. He fucked them mothers.
Yeah, speaking as hornyman, a journeyman hornyman
Jack
at that.
Hornyman.
I am a journeyman hornyman, and I can say that he is extremely horny. In fact, Mike, I'm going to say you win this one, because I didn't think about it. Like, we've got, like, fucking research to back that shit up.
And you know, the funny part is I literally just came up with that. I did not.
Good job.
Like everything before I had thought of. I mean, you took the Sasquatch thing, which was my first choice.
Of course.
And then I was thinking, okay, what? And then it's like, oh yeah, that horny motherfucker. I thought, I also thought Jersey Devil was like, nah, Jersey Devil's not horny.
He's too innocent. Yep.
Yeah, Jersey Devil, he sounds like I don't know, just
a sad boy.
Yeah.
He's a sad boy that lives in the barrens.
A simple, innocent soul.
Yeah.
We also need to consider the gray. I mean, when you're pouring out cows,
that's
you know what
science.
I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they get, like, anything out of it. I think they're just, like...
Horny indicates that you're doing it for personal gratification.
I see the grays as being like, I have to finish this checklist.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Cow anuses.
They're doing it for the preservation of their species, I guess.
Maybe, we don't know.
I mean, they could be horny fucking cow ass weirdos, but
like in the
we
Kids
don't
in
know.
the Hall. I'm sure the great leader is just some kind of twisted ass freak.
Yeah, but we don't know. It sounds very science-y, maybe.
Yeah. What about dinosaurs?
Well, they're not cryptids.
Yeah, they are. The living dinosaurs, like Mokele Mbembe.
Well, you didn't specify living dinosaurs, you son of a bitch.
What else would I mean?
I thought we were just talking about dinosaurs because we're 12 years old.
Okay, well, that's fair, but okay, the living dinosaurs, like the Thunderbird that is a pterosaur, or Mokele Mbembe. I mean, like, and God forbid you get Chuck Tingle involved.
Pounded in the butt by my own supernatural podcast.
Oh my God, yeah. I've told you he has a podcast called Pounded in the Butt by My Own Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love Chuck Tingle.
He is, I want him as president. I'm just going to go there. So I think that's about it for tonight's show. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's a hell of a thing to end on, is Chuck Tingle. So I hope everybody's enjoyed that. We had some serious discussion. We talked about me being fascinated with being taken up in the arms of a male Sasquatch. We've learned Mike has more optimism than I do. And David's just fun.
Oh, thank you. I was hoping that we learned something new about me today.
You're just so fucking fun, man.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So has anybody got anything they want to plug before we go?
Yeah. My friend Nicole C. Luttrell has a new book out. Follow her on Twitter at Nicole CL, and you should be able to get information on her horror book. It's good. It's like an apocalyptic winter haunting sort of thing. It's good. I like it.
Neat. Okay, cool. Well, we'll put a link to that in the show notes, David. Be sure to get that to me.
Will do.
Mike, you got anything you want to throw out there real quick before we go? You do not want to be held up by Bigfoot's strong, fuzzy arms?
I think the lack of showers would turn me off.
I don't know, man. Like I said, it's that musk. You don't know what's happening until you're part of the way through, and you're forget it. Just go with it.
I've smelled dudes that don't shower, and it's not pleasant.
But this is different. It's Bigfoot.
You say that's
supernatural musk.
No,
the
I don't
new
think
scent
so.
from Supernatural Selection.
He's gonna smell like
Bigfoot pit.
He's gonna smell like a drum circle's dreadlocks.
I really wish you hadn't said that, because I know that
you can
guy.
smell it now, can't you?
I know
sorry
that
to kill
guy.
Your boner, but
Fuck off, Mike. Damn you. Well, that's it. Check us out.
I kill dreams.
You do.
Folks.
You murder dreams. So don't forget to check out everything you need to know about our podcast over at supernatpod.rocks. David is working on the back end to get a few pages done for future advertising opportunities and what have you. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I'm also going to go ahead and set up a feature for people to contact us if they want to be on the show to talk about something.
Absolutely.
Talk about an experience that they've had.
Have you been touched inappropriately by Bigfoot?
Yes, come on our show.
Come on our show.
Come to Butthead.
God damn it.
Chris Hansen here, please take a seat.
Would you like a cookie? So, all right, well, don't forget to, like I said, head to supernatpod.rocks. You can find us on Twitter at supernatpod. And we will be back again next week with more fun stuff. So until then, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
So is Bigfoot really hung or not? I don't know.
Bigfoot senpai, notice me. Oh, he's hung like a fucking horse.
Well, I mean,
two horses.
Like gorillas aren't very girthy.
No, Bigfoot's different, man. It's all big.
All right. Good.
We spent way too much time